to see, but the chef is a regular here for Masters Night. Back when we were on our old Masters Night schedule, we're now on our super awesome new one, which granted is a little bit confusing, but as time goes on, the kinks will be worked out, and
Absolutely.
and hopefully 2 weeks from now when we do this again, the gears will be even more lubric. Oh, look at that, the chef missing a probe there, but there we go. Before we get started here, I do want to say that I'm very happy that the chef's portrait is the chef zealot because his name is the chef.
That's very cute.
Yeah, like when I first saw his name, I'm like, he better have the chef portrait. I'm gonna be really mad. And then he had it. I'm like, all right, good, he can play.
I wonder if he had this name before that came out, before Irish Chef came out.
Maybe. Well, maybe he used his name change on it.
Maybe.
Who knows?
All right. Well, we do have a Protoss versus Zerg here on Daybreak, as we have the Chef coming in as the challenger, spawning at the top right-hand side of Daybreak. Can he take out his opponent? Spawning at the bottom left, it is the red Zerg player, 2-game win streak, Rescue.
Yeah, Rescue has been showing just, I mean, like, that last game, he just had, like, a commanding lead for most of it, whereas the game before that was maybe a little bit more touch and go in the beginning there. But I'm really interested to see how he will fare in this matchup, because the last 2 games were against Terran.
Yeah, that's true, actually. So we might have a better or worse matchup, depending on how well he plays in all of these. And I think, well, both the matchups, of course, are very reaction-based, but he played his Zerg versus Terrans very odd, where he was making decisions based before he did anything. Like, he wasn't really responding. He was like, okay, I'm going 2-base Muta this game, and then he, like, responded to the drop and took some damage, but he came out on top, so it seems like he wants to take control of the game from the beginning, as opposed to let his opponent dictate what he's doing.
Yeah, typically Zerg is a more reactive race where, what you're going is, I mean, you have a handful of, cheesy openings which kind of let you dictate what's going on. But for the most part, you have your choice of 2 or 3 openings, and then based on what the other players are doing, you're like, all right, well, now I need to go this. But, yeah, Rescue really has been doing a pretty good job of kind of forcing the other player's hand as to what they're going to do and punishing them for it, which is really interesting to see.
Yeah, a little harder to do in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup as a Zerg player, but our Protoss player is going for that Nexus first into Forge. Good decision going Nexus first, seeing that it was a 15 pool out of his opponent. He's actually not even going to try to block the hatch. There are 4 Zerglings out already, so Rescue not even trying to put that hatch down early, saving that little bit of mining time, and is going to check the third. Needs to come back and make sure that third is dropped before 4:30, or else he should know that something a little bit crazy might be going on.
Absolutely, and it's really fortunate that for Rescue that he was able to, take that natural, because you see it all the time now. You got the probe and it's standing there, and then it does its little dance, and then it throws down a pylon, and then you got to take your third as your natural, and then your mining's delayed, and you're out in the open, and it's just bad news. But Rescue is getting his third right around 4:30, so it does look like he's going to be playing pretty standard here.
Yeah, absolutely, and we could see him take some gas right now and do like a Leenock hatch cancel Roach Rush off of 2 bases.
I would love to see that, but
yeah, no, it's really cool, especially if you know your opponent's going to scout your third and then you cancel it after he leaves or whatever. But I don't think we're going to see anything like that. We should see the gases come down around the 620 mark, and a very standard game out of these 2 players. They are high level, and I'm sure they have a lot of respect for each other.
Absolutely. So the chef, of course, did do that Forge first fast expand opening. You almost
Sorry.
Oh, you almost never see a different opening in PvZ. Like, it's Forge first fast expand, and if you don't do that, then you're probably doing something a little cheesy. But yeah, both these players just playing really econ heavy, and yeah, I'm interested to see if Rescue's gonna try and like add the little twists and turns he's been adding in these last couple of games, or maybe he's not as comfortable in the DVP matchup and just wants to play straight up because he knows, if I just play straight up and don't make a mistake, I'll probably be okay.
Well, that is a good way to win all your games. Don't make any mistakes.
Never make a mistake.
Well, yeah. But, something I do want to point out is Rescue actually found the hidden probe up at the top middle of the chef, and it's really smart to go looking for those probes, because if he can't come back in and scout, he's got to play extra careful. And normally we see a Zealot Stalker opening out of our Protoss players, to go put some pressure on that third base, just poke at it. Zergling speed's not going to be done for a while. But instead, we have a Sentry coming out immediately, and actually, at 6:40, we have a Robo facility coming down, and he took his 2 gases around the time that we may see something like a little bit of an Immortal Sentry all-in come in. The gas timings are close. Sometimes it's like different, but it's okay.
Yeah, Rescue doesn't have a Roach Warren, and if he decides to not go Roaches, then Immortals really won't be too effective here, since little tiny units like Zerglings that do really fast, tiny amounts of damage. The Hardened Shield doesn't come into play, and they can hold off Immortals pretty well. But I mean, Sentries really they really give Zerglings the business. They got it tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like we have an Observer coming out first, so it's not going to, in fact, be that Immortal Sentry all-in. And we only had 3 gates, too, not 4 total at this point. So it does look like he's going to take a fast third. And yeah, the third does kind of try to start, but a Zergling is there to block it. And we should see a Twilight Council come up, and some Immortals start to get Chrono Boosted out after that first Observer. Observer, of course, very important. Keep track of exactly where your opponent's army is, how many gases he's taken, all sorts of information. Immortal starts, and we should see a wall-off kind of start down here at the third base of our Protoss player in just a second with some gateways and cannons.
Well, a couple of Zerglings coming in here now. It's not going to be enough to get rid of those Sentries and, that Zealot. And there's that wall you were talking about. But Rescue now does know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there's a third there, although he kind of did already. But with that Zergling he had there a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that Rescue went for Zergling speed before Lair. That's pretty unusual when we see a macro-oriented build coming out of Deshef here. The third and fourth gases we're taking around 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and usually we see them around 6 and 7 if we are going to get a Sentry Immortal all in. But it looks like we're going to have a lot of Zergling pressure come up here. Oh, from the backside, and if these Sentries aren't ready, they could get completely surrounded.
Oh, they're completely surrounded. Good force fields, but amazing force fields, actually. Those Sentries really isolating themselves, keeping those Zerglings away. That was awesome. That was awesome force fields, but they don't have enough energy to do that again.
Well, he held it off for a little bit, but that is a huge gas investment going down. These Zerglings absolutely paying for themselves there. Now 72 to 64 Harvesters. Our Zerg player playing this perfectly at this point, going for 1-1, taking his 5th and 6th gases with a Macrouch. He probably should think about taking a 4th and going for an Infestation Pit. Infestation Pit does drop. He's making more Lings. More Lings! He's not making Roaches.
Well, he got +1/+1, he's getting it for melee, so, what's he going to do with Roaches? I do think he will be making Roaches pretty soon, though. He is getting that Roach speed upgrade.
Yeah. Oh,
and
man.
I don't think he's going to miss the investment there. He's definitely going to start making Roaches soon. But I think it's while I can be saving gas, and while I can keep, holding Deshef at bay with just Zerglings, he's going to do another great surround there!
And Deshef just not on top of him, man, moving his army back to his base. It gets split up a little bit by the Zergling before the force fields go down, and a lot more Sentries are going to go down. This is about 1,000 gas we've just seen go down in the last 2 minutes for our Protoss player, and that's what he really wants. This is looking bad.
Yeah, Rescue's I'm going to have all the gas. I'm going to float 1,600. This is going to be my deal. And you're never going to have any, because I don't want you to have it. And it's been working really well. He's killed most of the Immortals that Deshef has had, and, one Sentry was able to survive, and actually I think that might be a new warp. No, it's got 6 kills. That's an old-school Sentry.
Alright, well, this is, I was saying, this is looking really good for our Zerg player, but he's actually getting to a point where he's over-committing with this. He's making a ton of links. He's only on 72 drones. There's 78 probes for a Protoss player, and, when you see a fast third base like this, you either need to really punish it, which he kind of did to start, but then he didn't drone. He made more links and tried to kind of end the game. So I kind of wanted to see 100, 110 drones come out, get some spine crawlers out, get that hive tech out, get a ton of infestors out, and then go into that very quick broodlord composition against this. But instead, we've seen Rescue commit to this over and over. 12 infestors are on the way, though, and I don't know. I think our Protoss player is still in an okay spot, though, against this.
Yeah, he's definitely not on the run yet, and yeah, engaging on the ramp against all those zealots is not going to work out well for Rescue. Now Rescue is taking his fourth, well, has taken his fourth, not mining there yet. Deshef does have an observer there, so he knows what's up. Those 12 infestors just about to pop. Pathogen glands has been researched in the timing you would expect of a master or grandmaster player, such as Rescue.
All right. Well, yeah, he is going for that greater spire, it does look like. But, again, now he's adding on the drones. He's now going up to, it looks like it's going to be around the 85 mark, which is a good number, but not going to be enough for a lot of spine crawlers in the middle of the map. And these Zerglings don't have a lot of sustaining power. And, oh, looks like we're going to have a huge engagement. The infestors come down and get a good fungal on everything. Oh, my goodness. Archon's coming down, though, and these are going to be super effective against Lings. How is this battle going to go, Doctor?
I do think Deshef is going to come out on top here because there's only a couple of fungals left, and those Archons just, I mean, they just destroy everything Zerg.
And Blink is done. He can blink and pick these off, but good fungals going down to keep them back. The supply is now even, though, 133 to 130, and you know what? There's no energy on these infestors. Rescue's going to have to spend all his money on building defense for a little bit here. He's not even moving his infestors back. Oh my god, we could have a huge remax from Deshef coming up in just a couple minutes. He could even try to take a fourth here. And in the meantime, we had a huge DT drop from a Warp Prism come in to take off the macro hatch. Oh, so much tech is going to go down here.
Rescue might not come out on top in this game, and that is going to mean that he's going to tie with Taiga if he can't hold this off.
Oh my goodness.
This
attack in the main is doing, attacking the main doing a ton of damage, and you know, all the infestors blowing all the rest of their energy on a couple of zealots and stalkers here. That's the only defense. Their base is going to have no defense and no sentry or infestor energy, and you know there are a couple Archons here up against Rescue, giving the Manor Smiley out.
He's
apparently
happy. He's happy about this. I would be too if I were him. I mean, he took out that fourth. That third is down. There's no, well, there's still a lot of drones in the main, and it does look like he managed to save that wisp-infested Terran, but, I mean, Rescue really far behind now. He is definitely on the back pedal here.
No, absolutely. The infestors are now here with no energy for even, well, maybe one infested Terran. Drones are being pulled. Oh, I say that and 7 infested Terrans come out, but drones are being pulled, and this is looking terrible for Rescue here, as it is 21 to 85 Harvesters. A fourth has been established for our Protoss player. He's even going up to Templar Archives tech. Another huge Zealot Warpin is going to kill the Hive off and the Infestation Pit.
And the Zealot's still attacking in the main. That Hive is going to go down.
It absolutely is. And
it's their Infestation Pit too.
This is kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier here. We are kind of waiting on a GG from Rescue. He is still tied with 2 wins with Taiga, which means hopefully Taiga's still here, because if they are tied at the end of the night, we will have a best-of-1 death match to determine who comes out on top overall for tonight's King of the Hill. In the meantime, a Fleet Beacon +3 on the way. I mean, Rescue's at 62 supply, 20 drones, 9 infestors against the 92 drones. Only 11 stalkers for Deshef, though. So actually, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, Rescue only has 1 base of income right now, so I mean, pretty much the army he has right now. That's about it until he can, you know, drone up really, really hard. But all these DTs getting quite a few Zerglings there.
Yeah, and they're going to go pick off the third, go back to the... They're just going to spread out so Fungals can't kill them all, I guess. There is... Oh my god. Okay, there is an Overseer. I was going to say, I don't think there's a lair on the map.
Well, there's not anymore, but there is a leftover Overseer from the before times.
Oh, excuse me. Alright, well, the Overseer are going to come over here, pick up this DT at the 4th, and this is forcing Rescue to stay at home. More units being warped in at the 4th base, even with cannons, with Storm, a Mothership, and, yeah, 5th. What's up, Doctor?
Oh, sorry. Apparently the stream is lagging really, really bad.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah. Well, they say the video is lagging, but the audio is fine. That's weird. I will go yell at my roommates if they're downloading the things they download after this game while we're at a commercial break. But in the meantime, I guess just listen to our beautiful voices describing what's happening.
Doctor's beautiful voice. Just don't listen to mine. All right. Well, you know, these Zerglings are gonna come. Oh no, one Zergling's gonna come down and be like, "Oh, you have stuff. Damn it!" And our Zerg player's probably gonna have to back off. He has 3 bases now, but let's take a look at his drone count. It's at 24, and he's making Zerglings, so he's gonna try to make this work with the one last push of units, but yeah, this is looking a little bit in favor of our Protoss. I guess in the meantime, let's talk about what happened exactly, because Rescue made a brilliant decision to get us around on those sentries early. And of course, you know, it was a mistake by Deshef to let that happen, but it was excellent by Rescue. And then he was like, oh, I can end the game. And he kept making Zerglings. But if he had just droned up from there, because when you lose all those sentries, you have to reinvest that gas into those sentries, and then you can't really push out anytime soon. So if Rescue had just taken a fourth, maybe even a fifth would have been risky, but made spine crawlers, teched up to infestation pit, didn't even have to really make that many units at that point, right? Because spine crawlers would protect him with infestors, and go straight to broodlords. He would have had end game composition against an immortal ball from Deshef, which had a ton of zealots in it. So
he just got a little bit too greedy and a little too eager to end it, and I mean that's really going to hurt him now, because I mean really Rescue has been pretty far behind once Archons were on the map, because I mean, like, you know, they got that sweet bonus damage to biological, and every single thing that Zerg has, including their buildings, is biological. It's just, Archons are just really good.
Yeah, no, they definitely are, but good fungal is going down on all the High Templar here. If there's no storms going down on the
there they
finally
are.
coming down. Okay, well, that's going to clean everything up, but, yeah, Rescue, you know, did really well at the beginning, and he tried to hold on, but Zergling's just not very good.
Oh,
There
Rescue leaving, no GG.
GG.
Yep, so I just did a speed test, and apparently, well, my speeds are absolutely awful right now, so I'm going to go yell at my roommates and tell them to stop downloading all sort of unspeakable animal husbandry videos